Today I'm flying down to Cornwall on Eastern Airways. I loved it and I'm sure that you will too. Let's get into the video and find out why. Eastern Airways use the South Terminal here at Gatwick, which is handy as that's where the train drops you off. Now I've already checked in online so I don't need to use a check-in kiosk, but if you do have a bag to drop off, it's here in Zone D. You'll see that it's just behind me. Up the escalators to departures and security, and we are airside. Top tip if you've got any work to do like I have, or you've got a domestic flight, including Dublin, gates 1 to 5 is where they usually go for. So let's head that way. It is just to the left. And you come out of duty free, gates 1 to 5, and it's down here. It's usually pretty quiet down this part of the terminal. Because why would you go to a gate that's in a random place that you don't know if that's where your flight's from? The gates seem to have quite a low utilisation down here, hence there's usually space to sit down. And as a bonus, you get these great views of landing aircraft. I've never seen parking markers on the tarmac like this before. They usually have an aircraft type written next to them. Can anyone in the comments let me know how these particular ones here at Gatwick work? The inbound aircraft had 2 laps in the hold before heading in on time. And here she is landing now. Note the dry conditions at the gate, but that ominous darkness at the end of the runway. This darkness quickly followed the aircraft to stand, and moments later unleashed its wrath. It's time to put the coat on, I think. Okay, let's get on board. We've started boarding now. It is bouncing down. So this is not actually boarding, not boarding. This is, let's everyone wait inside so we don't all get wet, which is pretty good. Our ATR 72-600 is just 6 years old, and it's flown for Eastern for its entire career. The ATR looks really good in the Eastern livery, don't you think? Even if I'm getting soaked taking these shots. Surely that's worth a subscribe though. Go on, it's free and you get to see more trips like this in the future. Pushback was on time and today's seat is 12D, just behind the wing. In typical fashion, once we got on the move, the sun came out whilst we waited for our turn to enter runway 26 left, before a short takeoff run, and we're airborne. We'll fly west today at 14,000 feet with a flight time of just under 1 hour. I took the same route on EasyJet the prior year and the flight time there came in at around 40 minutes. The ATR has a cruise speed that's almost 40% less than an A320, making use of those efficient turboprops for short domestic flights. Let's take a look at the seat. It's a minimal affair really, with a safety card and a literature pocket, followed by a small tray table. There's a seat pocket down here too, should you need somewhere to store your water bottle or such like, and there's a coat hook which came in handy today. The narrow fuselage features a 2-2 layout. It does mean though that footroom is a little bit restricted as the fuselage does curve inwards towards your feet. Overhead we have air vents, and again these were needed on this hot day today. And this is where the surprises start. A hot towel. Yes, a hot towel on a domestic UK airline in economy. Fantastic. And then, free snacks. Any cheddars or shortbread? Yes, some chips. tea, coffee, water, shortbread or cheddars. Talk about the unexpected happening. And they're not skimping on the size of the cheddars either. A grab bag. Perhaps an unusual choice, cheesy snacks on board an enclosed space, but I was happy enough munching them down, and as we cruised above the south coast, I'm pretty happy with this flight. There's not much to see outside the window though, bit of a miserable day. So, how much did I pay? And why fly versus taking the train? Well, I paid £39.99, travelling in the late afternoon. The train would have set me back over £80 one way, and I've taken over 5 hours. The train to Gatwick, in case you're wondering, only set me back a £5, and given that friends were collecting me from Newquay Airport, you can see why flying was a no-brainer here. Before long, we're descending below the cloud layer and lining up to land on runway 30 for a more or less straight-in approach into Newquay. So what are your thoughts on Eastern on this route down to Cornwall? Let me know in the comments. If you ask me, they surpassed my expectations with the hot towel and complimentary snacks. The flight was on time, the aircraft pretty much new, and the price was an absolute steal. A big shout out to Samantha and Martin, who were the lovely crew on board. So that was Eastern Airways down from Gatwick into Newquay, where we are now. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. As ever, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.